Hey, I'm Mary back with another video. It is 2:08 p.m. It is November 17th, and today is, let me think, Tuesday. I don't know, I kept thinking it was a little bit later on in the week, but, I guess I was wrong. So I decided to come here and make a video because I'm rather bored right now. I've got things to do, which I've been pretty busy all morning. But I decided to take a break and make a video, kind of like, express my feelings and just trying to talk about what's been going on with me. And not much has been going on. It's pretty much the same thing every day, as we all know. But just wanted to come in here and say, I have been doing better. Just clearing my head and just trying to get things in perspective. And I guess I feel better, a lot better. But still, you know, um, you wonder about the morals of people when you really start putting everything together and it starts to become more clear as to what really happened. So I don't know. um I guess now I do know what happened over at the farmer's place. And I didn't, like I said, before I was thinking, okay, maybe they thought that I was seeing the business owner, but now I understand. I believe that the girl that I used to work with, the girl that I used to work with in the office was probably having a relationship with my ex-husband at that time, which I had no idea because, as far as I knew of my ex-husband's routine, he always went to work, came home pretty much like me. I had no idea or even put that together. So that was probably what the lady field workers were talking about. And I know that there's been some sort of like, um, I don't know, some sort of issue that got created where people were competing or making us compete against each other, which I have no interest in competing. Didn't even realize that competition was even going on. I mean, I know that there was some comparisons that were going on between she and I at the farmer's place, right? But I figured it was just a racial thing. I didn't put the two together, based off the thing that I told my husband many years ago. I didn't put those things together, and just tell recently. But um, no, I've never felt anything towards her. I knew that she was acting weird. I knew all of that was going on, but I mean that is like wow. You wonder how could you pull something like that off for such a long period of time, but whatever. And I wonder and I question the morals of other people who got involved in it, and it's like how is it that they couldn't see that that was wrong? But anyway, I know that I was attacked from by this girl in different ways. I know she was set up fake job interviews. I believe she would do it along with my ex-husband and perhaps maybe with the assistance of his family or whatever. No, I have no interest in competing. And really, I see that if people want to be together, then let them be together. You know, I'm not really, concerned about it. Really, I'm not. I think that perhaps maybe they're better suited for each other. You know, but I will say when I first got together with my ex-husband, my relationship with him was not one where I was seeking him to do me any favors. I was under the impression, and maybe, I don't know, maybe their family's sitting on a gold mine, who knows, but I was always under the impression that they were just regular working class people. People who, I know his dad had a regular job. I think his dad owned a business repairing vehicles or something like that. They did okay, but I didn't think that they had any wealth or anything like that. And I certainly never asked him to, help me out on work or anything like that. So I didn't marry for money or prestige, or I'm not a gold digger by any means, okay? I just kind of married him because I kind of felt like everything was kind of going too fast, but still we got married, and my intention was never to ask him for anything. I never married him for those reasons. But if that is her goal, or I don't know. I mean, because I think I was attacked mainly because she comes from a different way of living than I do. Like, I don't know exactly how her way of living was, but when I first met her, she kind of came off to me as somebody who, like I said, I didn't know her very well, but when I first met her, she seemed like a very sweet, little girl next door type character, just very sweet and warm and like a bubbly type girl. So that was pretty much it. And then I know that she started changing like really quickly, so it must have changed when she got into a relationship with my ex-husband, or possibly the guy from high school, or something of the combination of the two. I don't know. But she has a different way of living than I do. And so I think she was kind of questioning my morals and my standards of living. And I'm not, people can live however they want to, but I'm wondering what makes her standard of living correct and mine not. Because when you really put it in perspective, I'm not the kind of person that goes around, intervening or tearing up marriages. So I don't know if that's tradition. I think she's a very traditional person, but if that's tradition, then I guess I'm kind of glad not to be traditional. I'm not like that, So anyway, enough of that. It's just very strange, that something can be enacted like that, especially in a workplace and work environment or whatever. And some people may have thought, well, you shouldn't have said that to your ex-husband, blah, 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 blah. Maybe not. And no, I shouldn't have. But, that doesn't justify that sort of behavior. And it doesn't justify her ill treatment towards me. I don't really know this girl very well. And I never considered myself into competition with her. Even if, let's just say, for example, even if I was in love with my ex-husband, which, believe me, I'm not, I would have let it go. I would have let it go. If I was emotionally attached, then I would shed tears. I will tell you, I have not shed one tear over this issue. But if I was emotionally attached to him in some way, then I guess I would look at it from this way. I would say, that was devastating, but, I can't change that. And you can't, some people would probably say, well, I would still want that person. I'm not that kind of person. Because when I think about everything and the message that was actually being sent through by these actions, that to me is unforgivable. So I look at it that way. I look at things differently than most people. And I think in their situation, or from their perspective, they want me to see things their way. I don't see things their way. You know what I mean? We're different people. And I respect those differences. We're not the same. I don't think that there's anything similar about me and the girl from my workplace. I think that perhaps maybe she did marry him for status, or maybe for what he could do for her, or whatever. Or maybe there was a general attraction. I don't know. You know what I mean? But it doesn't matter. What does matter is where I am now and what I want to do with the rest of my life and picking my life back up. That's what matters. No, I don't forgive that. And I don't think that it was appropriate. I don't think it was appropriate for somebody who was basically in a relationship with my husband and then basically trying to bully me through means of employment or anything. That to me is insane. Obviously, she's in the wrong. So, but anyway, so today I have things I have to take care of, and I've been doing things today. Just doing a lot of cleaning, organizing, getting things like prepared for what I need to throw away. Because, sometimes I have things in my house that I really don't need. Papers, books, just stuff that I want to get rid of. Too much stuff, Not that I have any sentimental attachment to them or anything like that, but it's like, why should I be trying to figure out where to store all this stuff if I don't really need it? Or if I've already read these books, why am I keeping them? Some people keep books for references or whatever, but I'm just like, I don't need these things hanging around my house. But, no, and I also want to say that me bringing these issues out is in no way me trying to one-up anybody or me trying to exert my power. What my purpose is that in this situation, you are completely silenced. Like, you don't have the ability to speak out for yourself, but you realize that you're dealing with like these unfair treat this unfair treatment, that doesn't make any sense, especially when you start thinking about everything that happened to you and you're like wondering how in the world can these people not see what they're doing is wrong, what they're doing is abusive, what they're doing is just flat out wrong, 100% wrong. And then the other issue is the fact that I have the right to live my life. I have the right to, eat, breathe, drink, go to the park if I want to, go for walks if I want to, do what I want to do in life without having to justify myself to somebody that I don't even really know, And I can assure you, when I go out for walks outside, it has nothing to do with my ex-husband. It's because I'm bored in the house. I'm not interested in trying to, I think some people do. Like maybe some people, maybe it's normal for people to go out and pursue other people's spouses, and then they want to be in these little power plays and stuff like that. But I don't believe in that stuff. I really don't. Okay. So you're not going to get any sort of competition for me. I don't care. Really, I don't. I think when I first found out that his family was manipulating my employment, I was disturbed by it because I would never agree to something like that. I would never agree to that. Like, even if I would have married him and knowing that he was like this filthy rich individual, I would never ask anyone to do that. Ever. Mainly because, like I said, women have to protect themselves. And I've always believed that. I always believed that. So I never asked him for anything from the get-go. Whether I thought that he was just a regular person, meaning somebody who had his family had a decent living, made a decent living, or from what I understand, his mother was receiving retirement benefits or some sort of little income that she would get, monthly income that a lot of older people get. And that was it. I mean, I never dug into it. I never asked these people for doodly squat. I'm not somebody who, I always realized that I was never somebody who was ever going to have, the prestige or anything like that. So I never thought to look for it. You know what I mean? I just kind of wanted to live my life, a very simple life, but I wanted to live an enjoyable life, meaning, I wanted to have people that I could trust and people that I liked around me and stuff like that. But I never even imagined that. Like I knew, like, for example, there's a few people that I can think of in this community, for example, who have, like I said, generational wealth, who are very well established in this community. And I always looked at these people as apart from the majority of people, and they are. They are apart from the majority of people. And I knew that. And I never thought to ever try to be one of those people. You know what I mean? And I wasn't doing that because of self-pity or anything like that. It's just that you understand there's a certain way in life that it is just what it is. And so no, I never asked him for anything like that, so anyway, moving forward, yeah, I'm trying to get myself feeling better, so I go to bed at different times at night. Usually I go to bed pretty early. I've been watching just old reruns of episodes I've never seen before, or, just because I'm trying to just occupy or fill these time spots that I have too much time on my hands, right? Too much time on my hands. And, it gets really boring being here at my house. I'm extremely bored at home. And, hours will go by. And, I'm not the kind of person that likes to just sit around. I've always been the kind of person I like constant movement, constantly doing something. I will say that it's unfortunate that, that people monitor your actions and they look for flaws in people on their personal time. What people do in their personal life, which I'm going to tell you right now, okay? If these people have monitored me in the past, they have to know that I live a very, somewhat of a boring, some people would think it's boring in existence. I don't really do much at my house. I mean, sometimes I might work on an art project, I'll clean or whatever. And that's been the case, throughout all the years. I mean, I don't, I really don't, but wait a second. And I kept thinking, well, then what was the big issue? What was the big issue? The big issue is that there was some sort of competition between the girl at work, and then everything that I did, she took it as a personal slight and thought that I was trying to be in competition. I'm not, never want to be. I don't want to be in competition with anybody. In this life, my goal is just to live my life in a very peaceful existence. You know, to draw the people that I need and want into my life for my own emotional comfort, people that are sincere. These are the people that I want in my life. And then you keep a balance. You keep a reasonable distance between people that you don't need or want in your life. And that's pretty much it. You know, I don't like to create conflict. I don't like creating friction. You know, and what happened was, you know, I think it was unnecessary. If my ex-husband knew or found out that, you know, he married somebody that was not biracial, the proper way of handling it would be to confront me. And I would have been like, okay, well then, you know what, if this is what displeases you, then we need to get a divorce. And it really is that simple, which we already got divorced already. Okay. And my reasons for my divorce, which I think I covered in my other videos, that's the solution. That's it. You know what I mean? And really, you know, I think for it to be a public issue, which should have never happened, I think is ridiculous. Really, I do. I think it's fucking ridiculous, you know. I'm way, way, way older than this girl. I may be probably 25 years maybe or more older than this person. And, you know, I think there's a complete difference between an older woman and somebody who's young, you know. And so I wouldn't, even if she was my age, I wouldn't, you know, I don't believe that people should do their best to try to fight for men. You know, and there's songs like, you know, all kinds of songs that have been written about that subject matter. Like, you know, let me have my man, or don't take my man, blah, 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 blah. And I listen to these songs and these lyrics, and I know a lot of women are like that. And I just roll my eyes like, oh, wow. You know, I those are the kind of songs I never got into. You know, and I like lyrics, okay? I like lyrics. Of course, you know, a lot of the songs that I used to listen to when I was younger don't really apply to me anymore, but I look at them as just looking back, referencing them, thinking about what I thought at that time. It's still nice to listen to, but, you know, but my point is that I can't relate to that way of thinking. I can't relate to that way of thinking, especially if somebody has demonstrated that they care nothing for you. Why would you? And I know like certain things cloud women's minds. Like they think, well, maybe if I don't know, maybe if I do this, and this, then I can get his attention. I can be this way. I can do this. I can change this. I can do this. Some people would actually bend over backwards to try to gain that person back. I'm not like that. You know, when I found out he was playing with my employment, that right there made me think, okay, I'm not good with that. And then addressing that issue, saying that I wasn't okay with that, and he continued to do it. And not only did he continue to do it, he used this other girl from my workplace to do it. Like, why would I forgive that? You know, I wouldn't forgive that. You know, that's questionable. That's questionable behavior. You know. So anyway, I think that's about it, really. I mean, I'm not doing much these days. You know, same old thing, same old thing. I want to get my life back to. I'm doing everything I can to forget and move on. Okay, and really, I'm not emotionally tied to it. Like I'm not like looking at it like from what I used to when I didn't have all the answers. I'm just wondering. There's sometimes every once in a while, like I keep thinking, okay, I'm thinking about this particular time period. What was going on at this time period? How is it? And I asked myself, how is it that I didn't see this? How is it that I didn't see this? But the thing is like I said, when you have a routine that where you go to work and you come home every single day, you know, I would have never suspected him of seeing this girl. I knew that he went to his mom's house like on the weekends, because I stopped going to his mom's house, okay, because I just felt like it was, I don't know, I didn't have a close relationship with her, so I just figured you go on by yourself and do what you need to do. And he would go to his mom's house, or maybe he was, at that time, he was able to see her at that time. But for the most part, I had no idea. No idea whatsoever, you know. But if tradition to her, because this girl seems to think that, you're supposed to be traditional and marriage and all this other stuff. Number one, that's none of your business. Okay, that's nobody's business. Okay, and is it traditional to behave in that manner? I don't understand. That's where you lose me on that. You lose me on that. I will say though, when it comes to tradition, some people have lives or live lives where things didn't quite turn out a certain way, so they have to live their life based on what fate or whatever gave them. When you put somebody in a program where you have been gang stalked, or you have been your privacy has been like invaded, and then you've been put, like, for example, in the past, my house was under surveillance. Weird shit was going on around this town, meeting with certain employers and all this other stuff. You expose people. That's another reason why I felt as though this should have been a lawsuit, because you have put my safety in jeopardy. Okay, so now that I'm talking about safety, it would be foolish for me, okay, to pursue just any relationship, whether that be platonic or romantic, when my safety is jeopardized. You know what I mean? Because I will tell you, when you are in vulnerable positions such as I am, you're going to encounter people who want to exploit that rather than help that. Okay? So there's multiple reasons why this particular employer should have been sued. Multiple reasons. My privacy is of value to me, and even though I really don't have much of a life, or I don't really do anything that I like here at my house. I walk around and watch a few movies every once in a blue moon, listen to music, work on an arts and craft project, whatever. But my life is rather boring. Okay, but whether my life was interesting, stimulating, I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff on my free time, or I was just sitting here living a humdrum existence, that is for me to live. I have the right to do that. You know what I mean? And I certainly deserve my privacy when I do that. You know what I mean? And so, no, I mean, my life is different than most people. You know what I mean? But I do know how to behave myself in whatever, depending on whatever situation I'm in. No, I'm not like most 50-year-old women, but a lot of 50-year-old women didn't have to go through what I went through. So you deal with what life gives you, and you make the best of it. And I don't ask for much in this life. I'm a very content person, meaning like I don't need a bunch of stuff to make me happy. But I'm not somebody who, do I feel like I need to be married to be complete? No, I don't. Do people choose marriage for a little bit more financial security? Yeah, I think so. But I don't need a house. I don't need a backyard. I don't need those things. It would be nice, but I don't need those things anymore. I already raised my son. My son's already raised. He's grown. You know what I mean? So all I need to take care of is myself. And I could be happy doing that in a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm fine with that. I don't need a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? What I don't have, I could either make on my own or whatever. I'm fine with those things. Now, when it came to my work, I wanted a job that I thought was fit for my skills and for what I was capable of doing. I never did it for the sake of being in a prestigious position or for arrogance or anything like that. I felt as though I was very enthusiastic about my work. It brought for me a personal sense of self-satisfaction, just knowing that I could complete these tasks. You know what I mean? That was good. That was like a pat on my back. You know what I mean? If I was a beer drinker, which I'm not anymore, but that would be like the reason why, I would feel deserving of having that beer on Friday night, because I felt like I did a good job and I accomplished something. Patting myself on the back. It wasn't about me, thinking I was somebody. You know what I mean? And I really don't think somebody who works in an office environment is really anybody, really. Because in my mind, see, when I was growing up, those sort of jobs were meant for people who really didn't excelled too much in other areas. Because most people who did excel in other areas were like, had more, I don't know, more prestigious positions. They were either lawyers, doctors, maybe engineers, something that was really specific and technical, whereas, people who, like myself and people who are older than me, were always expected to kind of go into clerical type jobs and stuff like that if you weren't like, somebody who had higher ambitions. So I was a little shocked that people made such a big whoop-de-doo over the kind of work that I was doing. But, I realize how petty things are becoming. I mean, I really do. I see how ridiculous it's becoming. And it is. It's getting really ridiculous, really, to be honest with you. But even though my accomplishments were actually quite small, they brought great satisfaction to me. And that was really what it was about, I'm not somebody who's going to like rub elbows with people who are in the higher levels in society. And if I do, my role would not be, to ever be among them. If anything, I would probably either work for them or whatever, but I'm not somebody who feels like I'm in the same running line as these people. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people have this idea that they can actually work themselves up socially to that point, especially if they marry into certain families or whatever. Good luck with that. If people want to do that, that's fine. You know what I mean? But I don't think that's possible. And I really wouldn't want to be in that sort of relationship, It's just not for me. You know what I mean? I think those things are, I don't know. To me, it seems like to be married for financial reasons, and that's it. It seems very cold to me. But like I said, hey, you know what? Go ahead and do that if you want to. You know what I mean? Everyone's got their reasons for getting married. Some people get married for those reasons, and some people get married for reasons of love. And so I know that, most wise people would say, don't get married for love. You know what I mean? And when I was younger, I used to think that was a crazy thing. Like, you're supposed to love that person. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? The older I get, the more I'm thinking, okay, I believe marriage really is an institution. Like, it is an institution where people are probably using you for financial reasons or whatever, and it's about building wealth building, empire. I call it empire building or whatever. Something that I don't know, but that's not my thing. It just isn't. Trying to get through this life, how many years I have left on this earth, I have no idea. But I just want to get on with my life. And I don't, I want to do that in the most peaceful way I possibly can. I don't want to hurt other people. I'm not interested in competing with anyone. I just want to live out my life. And which I think I have every right to, especially after when I look back at the 23 years that my life has been wrecked. I deserve that. I deserve it. You know what I mean? I deserve to have the peace that I seek, especially for suffering for so long. And I have suffered tremendously for shit that I shouldn't have even. When I think about this whole issue about the farmer's place, the guy from high school, all these people, I got dragged into something that I should not have been dragged into. I shouldn't have been dragged into it. And I literally got dragged into something that I should not have been dragged into. And there's no excuse for it either. And if somebody who tries to say, well, I dragged you into it because you said that you were half white many years ago. Okay, that only makes you look like the bigger racist. Like, if that triggered you, okay, ask yourself why that triggered you and why you felt it was appropriate to make that sort of response. Okay, no matter how you slice it, you look like an asshole. That's just how it is. Okay, that's no reason for anything. If that would have been an issue between my ex-husband and me, that's it. Not the communities, not the employers, not anyone, not even my own blood relations. That's really between my ex-husband and me. And the appropriate response or action should have been just a divorce, really. So anyway, yeah, when you get dragged into something that you should not have been dragged into, and stupid competitions, I don't compete with people. You know, I don't compete with people. Um, I don't know. I think it's really stupid, really. I mean, the more I think about it, it's just like, oh my God, can't believe, I can't believe people actually would be so dumb to be participating in something so stupid. Anyway, so I'm going to take another break, about 20 more minutes, and I got to get back to what I'm doing. I've been really good at keeping my little schedules. I've been writing things out, you know, it's for myself to do each day. And I've been following through because I want to get back on a schedule. You know, it's really important for me to constantly keep my word, do what I'm supposed to do. You know, and that's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to get my life back to what I perceive, my definition of normal. Okay, and I'm the only one who can define that. Just like everybody else has their own definition, there is no such thing as one normal. Okay, there is none. Okay, I know, and what I find strange is, what do these people call their lifestyle? Because to me, I think that's weird. Everything about that lifestyle is weird to me. You know what I mean? Um, I don't think it's moral, really, but whatever. You know, to each his own. Just leave me out of it. I'm going to wrap up this video, and I'll be back with another video sometime later. Take care. Bye.